Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. Are your elderly ones getting the care they deserve?
That question was front and center on Capitol Hill today as Senator Steve Daines confronts the issue with other lawmakers in hopes of improving care for the elderly.
Right now, more than 3,700 Montanans receive nursing home care.
Well, today in Capitol Hill, Senator Daines talking about some of the challenges within the industry at a Senate Finance Committee hearing. Q2's Samantha Sullivan is standing by with more. Sammy?
Well, Senator Daines told the committee 20 years ago there were over 100 nursing home facilities in the state. Now there are just over 70. Meanwhile, in the last 10 years, the senior population in Montana has grown over 40%. The committee talked about things that can be done to help the state and country's aging population, including ramping up efforts to make telemedicine accessible to those living in rural communities. Another topic, more transparency and more training for those working in facilities to make sure their patients are being properly cared for. Daines referenced a case in Lewiston where a state-run nursing home was cited after failing to protect their patients from verbal, physical, and sexual abuse.
According to reports, on 13 occasions, officials were not notified of incidents that included abuse in the facility's wing, which houses dementia patients. As part of the investigation, one staff member said they had not been trained on how to help manage resident behaviors. These kind of reports are saddening, they're concerning, particularly as these patients are some of the most vulnerable Montanans who are receiving mental health and long-term care services.
Following an investigation, that facility was forced to pay over $250,000 in fine. That's after that abuse came to light. Russ?
All right, thank you, Sammy. Well, the gray wolf could soon be taken off the endangered species list entirely. Acting Interior Secretary David Bernhardt announcing that a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service proposed rule would delist the gray wolf and return management to the states and tribes. Back in 2011, the gray wolf was delisted in Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, and parts of Washington, Oregon, and Utah. This plan would delist the animal in all lower 48 states. A U.S. Fish and Wildlife spokesman says recovery of the gray wolf under the Endangered Species Act is one of our nation's great conservation successes. But a group opposed to delisting sent a statement saying, on its face, this appears to be politically motivated. We look forward to taking the Fish and Wildlife Service to court should its proposal not be based on what the science tells us. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service also proposed delisting that rule during the Obama administration. The proposed rule would be open for public comment after it's published in the Federal Register.
More than 24 hours after a man suffered an apparent random gunshot wound in downtown Billings, police say still no answers. Lieutenant Brandon Woolley tells us the Tuesday afternoon incident remains an open investigation. The 24-year-old man told police he was randomly shot in the leg while in front of the U.S. Bank building on Broadway. He then apparently ran to the corner of 2nd Avenue and North 27th Street, fell in the snow, and started to apply a tourniquet to his leg. That's when bystanders called 911 for help. He was taken to a hospital and is going to be okay.
Water samples in the city of Three Forks have confirmed the presence of arsenic in one of the water wells.
But the discovery came from an unexpected member of the community. MTN's Cody Boyer has more on the science project that turned into more than just a good grade.
Kind of a coincidence. I really didn't think it'd go this far.
It all began with Three Forks Middle School student Erica Hamilton's ambitious science fair project.
It was kind of a last-minute decision to do water quality. We were looking on the computers and I just saw a water project and I said, well, I could do water quality because my aunt's a chemist.
With her aunt's help, Erica says they tested the water at her house and her school.
We read off the data and it said that arsenic was 70 micrograms per liter and the high is only supposed to be 10.
The Montana Department of Environmental Quality has said is that there's no need to seek an alternative source of water supply at this point in time.
Environmental Health Director Lori Christensen says the city moved quickly to shut down the well, finding levels to be at 67 parts per billion, over 6 times higher than where they should be.
The city of Three Forks took immediate steps to keep that well isolated and allow only the wells that were in the city of Three Forks on a different aquifer.
The health department says they test and check that water frequently to make sure that these levels stay on the up and up, as is water is important to us. But if you have a private well, there is another way that you can check to make sure that your water is safe.
You should be testing your water minimally every 5 years.
A problem found by a young mind, not unnoticed by science teachers and the city mayor.
This is a great example of the quality of the work that our students do.
I learned that there is a lot of tests for water, even more than we tested for.
Again, the health department says there's no need for bottled water and there are no signs of immediate risk to the public.
Well, turning to weather, not many people fell in love with February's cold snap.
Man.
Bob, and March hasn't looked much better yet.
We do have some good news for you. We are anticipating getting to the other side of freezing,
Good.
maybe above 32. So we were wondering when was the last time we were that warm. So we looked at the records, and as you can see here, there you go. Last time was it was a Saturday, the 23rd of February. We were at 33 degrees. Before that, you had to go before Valentine's Day. On the 13th, we were at 41, 39 degrees the day before that on the 12th of February. So it's been a very cold month. But now here's the good news. Look at this. We're going to get to 34 tomorrow. We'll roll it back down to 30 on Saturday and get back up into the 30s the rest of next week. We're getting up to about 37 degrees by the time Tuesday gets here. So just hang in there one more night. The weather does start to improve from here, but we are going to see some more snow this weekend. We'll chat about that in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Bob. Northwestern Energy now warning customers to be on the lookout for scammers posing as bill collectors for utility companies. This effort is part of National Consumer Protection Week. Northwestern Energy tells MTN the most common scam is someone calling a customer and claiming they will shut off their power soon if they don't pay their delinquent bill right away. Utility companies do not collect late payments this way.
Utilities are here as your partners. There is no sense of urgency, and if you suspect it's a scam, please hang up or delete the email or shut the door and let us know.
And if you are suspicious that you are being scammed, you can also call Northwestern Energy.
Public polling is open to choose the name of Bozeman's second high school.
The school district is revisiting its choice of West Slope High School and is now asking the community for feedback using an online poll. Participants can choose from the original 3 names selected by the district: West Slope High School, Storm Castle High School, and Spanish Peaks High School.
Now, along with 2 additional names, Gallatin High School and West High School. Polling closes at 5 o'clock on March 20th, and the school board will then make a final decision.
Coming up on tonight's 5:30 News, St. Jude doesn't just save lives within its walls. We'll show you how it is curing sick kids all around the world.
And in sports, Scott hears from the Shriver brothers in Fairview. One will be coaching tomorrow. The other will be playing in a state tournament opener here in town.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.